From Satan to Christ. I was raised Mormon, in an abusive household. It seemed boring and lifeless to me, and I couldn't respect a religion my abusive father belonged to. Growing up, I had emotional, behavioral, and developmental problems. Among them, Asperger's syndrome, bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder, and PTSD, as a result of the abuse. In addition, I had a low immune system and chronic migraines. When I was 13, in a search for power and personal development, I began experimenting with the occult and Satanism. After I was freed from a possession, I turned to Wicca, which I saw as lighter and safer and filled with love, which I now realize to be a lie and a disguise. When I was 16, I came out to my parents as bisexual. My parents kicked me out of the house when I was 19, in the beginning of December. I remember being heartbroken and scared, thinking I was going to die alone on the street. I managed to get a hotel room for a few nights before catching a bus to Idaho to live with a friend. Her landlord kicked me out after 2 weeks, as I was not on the lease. From there I went to a homeless shelter and saved up enough money to go to Casper, Wyoming, to be with my long-distance girlfriend of 1.5 years, where there is a Christian rescue mission for homeless people. I was scared they would try to convert me. They didn't. I lived there for 3 months. Near the end of the first month, my then-girlfriend cheated on me and I fell into a major depressive state. I was walking at night, and my left foot was run over by a pickup. I went to the hospital and got X-rays. I was blessed, though at the time, in my ignorance, I attributed it to the Wiccan goddess rather than the true God, as there was not even a hairline fracture. I was in a walking boot and crutches for 2 weeks. At the library, a nice Christian lady asked to pray for me to recover from my injury quickly, and I accepted. The next morning I had no need of the boot or crutches. Still I denied Christ. One day I felt a need to go to the library and go to the second floor. While there, I met a Christian, not Mormon, girl, Danae, whose plans to travel to Texas that week had been cancelled due to unforeseen difficulties. We now believe God planned that. We quickly became friends, and started dating shortly after. I asked to attend her church's youth group with her, merely to spend more time with her. Then I went to church with her that Sunday. At my second youth group with her, I felt something stirring in me. My third, I felt the urge to tear off my pentacle necklace. After that youth group, as she was taking me back to the mission, I asked her to pull over in a secluded area so we could talk about youth group. She agreed. I shared with her my feelings, and told her about a dream I had had the previous night which seemed to suggest I would convert. We prayed. I pulled out my pocket knife and cut the string to my pentacle necklace, throwing the pendant across the street and as far away from me as I could. That week, at church, Pastor was praying and said, "And God, please bless the person in this room who has been dabbling in witchcraft. Release him from his bonds." Nobody in the church besides Danae, her mom, and our friend Noel knew about my history of witchcraft. I felt God's Spirit in me then. After church, Pastor sent out his weekly newsletter to members of the ministry, which included Danae's mom. She told me part of the newsletter, which detailed how Pastor had felt God telling him as he prayed to pray for the one dabbling in witchcraft. He thought it was strange at first, but knew he had to obey God. My passion for God had ignited suddenly and powerfully. I obtained a Bible and a cross necklace and strove to learn everything I could about God and the Gospel. Over the next few weeks I attended church and youth group every week. I asked God into my heart, multiple times as I felt like I needed to show God how passionate I was about Him. Finally, only 2 short weeks ago, I was baptized. It was the most wonderful experience of my life. Even if the water was freezing. I had been baptized when I was 8, like any Mormon child, but as I didn't choose to do it on my own and as I had left Christ completely, I felt like it was important to do it on my own. I just turned 20 only 3 days ago. My journey to Christ has happened fast, and been completely life-changing. I am no longer homeless, and I no longer struggle with depression or homosexuality of any form. Danae and I are still going strong, and the only one I love more than Danae is God. I thank God every night in my heart for bringing Danae into my life and using her to bring me to Him. God bless you all. I love you all.